To part 5 of the Supabase hackathon stream. We're working on rect. Here's the open source repository. And hello from my new M2 Mac. So this is a little smaller, but I think in some ways that's a good thing. It fits in my bag. My other laptop, it was older, the camera was worse, it was Windows, it was heavier, and it was so big that like I couldn't zip my backpack. So this one is smaller, it's lighter, it's an Air, MacBook Air, M2. Better camera, it's smaller, lighter, and faster. The lighting is great, and my TikTok audience can pretty much see the whole screen now, which is, I think, a big improvement. Still, you can go over to YouTube or Twitch as well. Okay, so what are we focusing on this stream? This stream is going to be a shorter stream. All I want to do is make some slides. So we have laterally slides. That's what we're trying to do, is make this slideshow. So check it out. Here's the slideshow, right? It currently works. But I want there to be even more content, believe it or not. There's a ton of content in here. If you read this, it'll help you learn to code and land a job. But we can still do more. How many slides are there total? I haven't actually counted. So there's over 50 slides. But we could easily double this. How are we going to get that more content? That's the point of this hackathon. We're taking my social media content from video, transcripting it, summarizing it, and turning it into flashcards, quizzes, slides, and a chatbot. So there's 4 points, 4 outputs, and that's why we call it rect, like a rectangle. There's 4 corners. These slides are built using reveal.js. So if you go here to laterally, you can see proudly built using reveal.js, and you can learn all about that there. What I want to do is see whether ChatGPT can build me a reveal.js slideshow. If it can do this naively, that's really great. If it can't, we can train it to do so using a prompt, basically, by prompting it strategically. Why would we use a prompt instead of fine-tuning or making our own custom model, or not even using ChatGPT, using something like Vicuna, GPT for all, an open source model that we could potentially retrain or fine-tune? See the last video, we talked about that. Basically, the answer is all of that work is stuff most people won't do. So in order to, and also at the end of the day, the output is of a lower quality. So it's going to be less helpful. And ultimately, it won't help people learn as well. And if I produce a certification, that certification will be less meaningful, less valuable, less useful, because it will be based on a lower quality quiz. So for all these reasons, I want to prefer GPT-4, even though it is closed source. And a bit of manual work, so there's not API integration. It's going to require the end user to paste prompts into GPT-4. But I think at the end of the day, this gives us a higher quality output and ironically a more accessible output, even though it's using a closed source component. So I go in more depth into that in the part 4 previous video. Okay, so let's log in. First thing we're going to do is just ask it. I haven't actually tried this. In the last stream, I asked if it knows what reveal.js is, and it did. So this is a somewhat older library. Here's, I showed you the link, but let me go ahead and click it. So you can see the GitHub repository and the age. So it's somewhat older. There's a release, it's maintained. So there was a release 2 days ago, but it goes back years. And because it goes back years, GPT is aware of it. It's in the training set. Have you been able to earn money from AI? Not yet. We'll see. Oh, well, I kind of have, because I've earned money freelance programming and I use AI to help me code. So there you go. I also have Copilot installed. I just set up VS Code, so it may be missing some plugins. Like it doesn't have Git Lens. Let me grab that one. I don't even have Prettier and stuff installed yet. So you may see me install some plugins while we're coding. It's a fresh computer. I got laterally slides and rect cloned over here. Let's open up a new terminal. Before we get into this, I want to just ask GPT-4 if it can make a slideshow without me contextualizing it. So I can give it a example slideshow and ask it to replicate that if I need to, but I would rather preserve the token space if possible. By the way, check this out. GPT-3 quality for less than 500 grand. How much would it cost you to train your own specialty model? Not just fine-tune, but train from scratch. These folks are saying that you can get GPT-3 quality for under 500K, specifically about 450K. Keep in mind, GPT-3 quality is like not very good. And so here you can see their cost breakdown based on the billions of tokens. And yeah, so you can definitely get more expensive if you want to, but you don't have to. And the GPT-3 level of quality might be better for your use case if it is specially trained. I don't have $500,000 to experiment and find out. Okay, so here's the GPT-4. And I pay $20 a month for this. Everything we're doing you could do with GPT 3.5, the free version, but the output will be of a lower quality. So that's why I prefer GPT-4. So let's just ask it. Please create, or please provide a slideshow that is 3 slides long using reveal.js. Cannot directly create code files or code for you. However, I can provide you with the necessary code snippets. First, you will need an HTML file. So this is true. Laterally Slides already has the HTML file. So Laterally Slides already has this index.html, and the index.html references a curriculum.markdown. And what reveal.js is doing is it's transforming the reveal.markdown into a slideshow. So I don't really need GPT to create this index file for me. I already have it. What do I really want GPT to do for me? Really, I want it to create the markdown file, I think. Cool. Here it's using it's using HTML slides. That doesn't seem ideal. So here we're using Reveal Markdown. Is it using Reveal Markdown? Okay, so this is not actually using Reveal Markdown, so I should be more specific. Let me actually wipe this from memory. I don't want it to even remember I said that because that's going to bias it in a direction that I don't care about. So I'll start a fresh one, and I will say, assume that I have an index.html file that appropriately includes reveal.js with the Markdown plugin. the file includes the following snippet. Whoa, I meant to hit the... I probably don't need, yeah, I don't need all this. Please provide the content for curriculum.md so that I will have a slideshow that is 5 slides long. Create a slideshow on the topic of learning to code. The first page, the first slide should be a title page, a title slide. The second slide should have a table of contents. One of the other slides should have a hyperlink that opens in a new tab browser. Okay, so at this point we are engineering a prompt, and the question becomes, what do I put in that prompt? So in the previous stream, we tried to actually copy the existing Latterly Slides curriculum file. So here's the curriculum file. It's very large, and there's many slides. So in the previous stream, we tried just taking this raw file. Here I can command click raw, and you can see this is the raw markdown content. And if I control A, control C, control T, and look for token counter, here's the OpenAI token counter, and I'll paste it. And you can see there's thousands of tokens here. There are too many tokens such that we break the ChatGPT request limit. Now this doesn't break the ChatGPT memory limit, it just breaks the request limit. So we can install data in ChatGPT's short-term memory, as it were, by sort of cutting this into thirds, for example, and then stringing them together. This is something you could do with LangChain. You can also just do this manually. You can prompt it something like, I have more data, please just respond acknowledged for now. And then you can give it half that. And so we showed that, I actually wrote in the markdown, in the README, not for Latterly Slides, but for rect. So here's the back end, here's the README. We wrote that the per request token limit appears to be about 4,500 tokens. So we got 4,480 or something successfully. So I said thirds, which would put us under 3,000, but really I could just cut it in half and do 2. And what that does is that leaves us the remainder of token space to actually add the new educational content that I want it to create the new slides. Does that make sense? The problem is that only gives us 500 to 1,500 spare tokens. In the last stream, I talked about the fact that GPT-4 says it has about an 8,000 GPT-4 token limit. It says it's about 8,000 token limit. But in my experience with ChatGPT, that's not actually true. And so I reported this to OpenAI. I was unable to get, I think I got over 6,000, but I couldn't even get to 7,500. I'm not sure if I got to 7,000. So I couldn't get to 8,000. So in any case, this leaves us about 500 to 1,000 free tokens of new information that I can tell it about, and I can say, now give me the output slides. The output is still limited to $1,100 output tokens. I'm not sure if that's true. That might be true. Here, let's see how many tokens are here. Let's copy this. And so this is under 500 tokens. So what is the point of this? The point of this is that even though we could technically get this whole thing into GPT context through prompting, that's not a good idea, because it's not going to enable us to efficiently create slides. Like, I might not even be able to get the information for one slide in there. So that's why we break these up into units. So that's the design that I'm proposing, is that we break these up into units. And so with the units, I could potentially do sort of the title page in the table of contents, and then one unit. So what's the first unit here? The first unit is Introduction to Understanding the Master Plan. There's something goofy here, which is that this Understanding the Master Plan slide is unusually large. I could just break it up, which is probably the smart thing to do if I go down this route. But so I don't want GPT to learn that it's okay to have like 7 or however many bullets there are. Yeah. So this is the slide. This is unusually large, and I don't want GPT to learn that slides like this are normal. I want it to follow like 3 to 5 bullets per slide, which I guess I could just tell it that. So that's what I'm working through, right? Is how do we sort of minimally prompt GPT? Minimally in the sense of tokens. How do I give it the fewest tokens to set the stage so that I can then give it actual information that I want it to generate slides from? Michael says, front end makes me want to die. Don't die, Michael, not today. Not today, Michael. Let's check the chat real quick on YouTube. Nothing. Cool. Okay. So it says add this content. So I'm going to copy this code. And at first glance, by the way, it appears, look, and there, without me telling it, it's already mentioning Codecademy and Free Code Camp, which are my top 2 free resources anyway. I love that. That's actually really validating for these two, because what that means is that this is a common recommendation in the test training data. It's so common that GPT is actually predicting it's what people would say. It's actually these are the top 2 predicted things. The fact that it's so common means that it's well known, which means that it's a good certification. It's a valuable certification because it's well known, so employers will understand it. And that's exactly why I recommend these 2 anyway. If you see, I didn't tell this thing anything about Latterly, but if you go read the Latterly curriculum, we're in the Markdown file, so I'll Command F, and you can see I talk about Codecademy, and I talk about Free Code Camp. I guess I don't say Free Code Camp in here. Code Camp. I do talk about Free Code Camp in my endorsed communities. Endorsed. I guess that's under docs. Endorsed communities. Yeah. So I do recommend Free Code Camp. Cool. How much front end do I have to learn if I want to do back end? How much front end? how do you even quantify that sort of thing? I mean, I think the answer is 0. You can be a programmer that knows Java that just doesn't even know how CSS works. You can do that. In the long run, you're going to want to learn a thing or two about it, but especially at the junior level, it's just not necessary. You can just be like a pure Java developer, or pure C developer or something. Okay. So here I'm focusing on the output tokens because I want to be able to produce a unit. And if I need to change that strategy, then I would like to know ahead of time. Okay, so it's saying that there is not an 8,000 token limit. So let's test this ourselves. Let's try to get GPT to say something really long. Man, and they brought up LeetCode too. I love this. This is great. How many tokens? How many words per token? So 1,000 words is 750 tokens, if I have that right, or is that the reverse? It's something like that. How many words? Many words on a single spaced page. Single spaced page. 500 words. How many tokens per word OpenAI? A token is approximately 4 characters or 0.75 words. So 1,000 tokens, 750 words. So 1,000 tokens would be a page and a half of text. This is all statistical approximation. But what I would like to, so a page and a half of text. So let's see if I can get it to write me a 5-page thing. A 5-page thing. So a 5-page thing would be 2,500 words. By the way, this is way more content than needed for a few slides. So I think we're already safe. But it's still worth testing. Let me copy this. So the question is, can I create a unit of content, an educational unit, in a curriculum, a unit like think of chapters of a textbook. That would be one unit. Can I create a whole unit at a time? Or do I need to create sort of like a slide or two at a time? So that's what we're trying to figure out now. Here is the content that GPT created. This is under 500 tokens. I think, and so this is the equivalent of 5 slides. But these are somewhat short slides, right? Like books and ebooks is a bullet here. It's pretty short. You would need to know front end and back end if you're doing full stack. That's true. Good statement there. Is a software engineering degree worth it over a computer science degree? It makes no difference. It makes no difference. Let's see. I don't know, 2 or 3 years into your career. I don't have the data offhand. But something like that, the difference it just doesn't matter anymore statistically. If you go to a particular school and that's like a feeder school for like Google and then Google cares, there's edge cases like this where the first year or two it might matter. But it doesn't matter to either one. And actually you don't even need either of those. You can just get a business degree and become a programmer if you want. Okay, so we can generate 5. This is actually 4 slides and a title slide. Whatever, it's 5 slides. We'll call it 5 slides. The main thing we were testing here, it does understand the syntax. It understands to use the dashes. And does the open in a new tab work? It understands to use target blank. I want to verify that this works because this is not the way that I did it. If we look in laterally slides, you can see I used this HTML HTML style commenting syntax, which allowed me to target blank. But that's an easy thing to fix. If it's just like, I need to prompt it to tell it to alter that syntax, GPT will learn that very quickly with few tokens. So I'm going to go out on basically how many tokens do I need to test. I could test all the way up to the alleged 8,000 that it doesn't really have. Maybe I would test 6,000 that it probably does have. But in the real world, am I ever going to have a unit that long? Certainly not in the short term. I can imagine like down the road for like complicated textbooks, you might have a beefy chapter on like, DNA or something. I just made that up. But for the current state of the world, this is very introductory. 2,500 characters is 2,500 tokens, I think, is more than a sufficient test. That's 5 times more content than right here. Frankly, I'd be fine with 2,000, so 4 times. I think that would be just a fine test so that the initial laterally educational unit size is bounded to 2,000, 2,500 tokens. And I'm fine with that. I'm already following a 5x5 heuristic. So my unit size is already, and I mentioned this here, 5. Oh, maybe I put it in, maybe it isn't laterally. Read me. Yeah, a 5x5 heuristic. That is 5 points per slide, each point having unique source reference, and 5 slides as the limiting case for informational size in a unit. So I'm going to give you a quiz, and hey kids, pop quiz in class today. We're going to do a pop quiz over the homework, and the homework was 5 slides. We're basically chunking. We're limiting to that size of a chunk. And I think that is perfectly compatible and frankly smaller than, well, let's go ahead and test this. Let's just grab a random 5 slides. I think this is going to be less than 2,000 and less than 2,500. So here's an overview. Let's skip that. Overviews are, this is sort of like those slides are usually thinner because it doesn't have content. It's like an outline. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. And here, this is 4, but let's go ahead and grab this. And we can just increase it by, divide by 4, multiply by 3 to get normalized 5. Okay, so this is 4 real ones. Okay, and so it's 580. Let's call it 600 divided by 4, 150, multiply by 5, 750. So we're looking at real world scenarios, 750 tokens. Basically maps to this 5x5 heuristic. 1, 2, 3, 4. This roughly maps to 750 tokens in open. So let me link that. 750 tokens of information. This roughly maps to 750 tokens of information. To be conservative, or rather to be liberal, to be liberal in one sense, conservative in the other. Liberal in the amount of tokens permitted under a unit, conservative in that I'm defending it against edge cases with large units. To be safe, let's say. To be safe, this is actually not a concern of laterally slides. So laterally slides per se should know nothing about AI. So this heuristic is fine, but the fact that that maps to so many tokens is actually a matter. Let me revert this. The fact that it maps to 750 tokens is a matter for rect. You see how we're separating the concerns here. Okay, so this is the transcript service. We're going to go over here, output generation. Educational units are broken up such that the core laterally slides curriculum, and then I didn't finish my sentence apparently because I'm a scatterbrained idiot. Okay. Educational units are broken up such that the core laterally slides curriculum.md follows a 5x5 heuristic. Analysis of laterally slides. Analysis of current slide content size. Analysis of current slide content size. Shows that the 5x5 heuristic roughly maps to 750 tokens. You can see how much of programming is not actual programming, right? So there's a lot of thinking and design going on to make sure that we do this right when we do it. Educational units are broken up such that core laterally slides curriculum follows a 5x5 heuristic. Analysis of current slide content shows that the 5x5 heuristic roughly maps to 750 tokens of information. So we have A, B, and then here's C. To be safe, this service supports up to what do I want to pick? Now I can pick anything I want. Nice, Mac. Thank you so much. It's brand new. I got it just yesterday. Check out the, I got 3 stickers on it so far. Rare Bird Roasters in Virginia and Go Dough. I think it's Go Dough, which is like a donut and coffee place. And it's in Roslyn or Clarendon? Over there in Arlington, Virginia. Northern Virginia. Which is this hackathon for? It's for Supabase. We're turning this in today. I might do 1 or 2 more streams after this current stream. To be safe, the service supports up to, I can either do 2,000 or 2,500. I'm just going to put this here for now, and then we're going to go do the test. So what is the test that we're doing? Or about 5 pages. Let's go 4 or 5 pages. Let's go 5 pages because in 5 pages, we're starting to get into textbook territory. We're really not. Every textbook author just laughed at me when I said that. My inner academic is currently laughing at me. But I can say, let me alter my wording. 5 pages of serious interconnected academic level thought is substantially more impressive than 4 such pages. You'll have half a page for your introduction, half a page to a page for your conclusion. And then there's the methodology and the results. I guess AI would never know the results because AI is not performing analysis. But sort of the results is considered like the meat. And so if you only have a page of results, that's not very impressive. Or if you have half a page of results, it's not very impressive. So the difference between a 4 and a 5 page paper is substantial because that's not just a 25% increase in overall content. Your introduction and your conclusion are going to be about the same size. You're actually looking at either a substantially bigger methodology, which means it's a more well thought out study, which is impressive, or a substantially bigger results section. And both of those are sort of the meat of the study. Anyway, we're not currently using GPT for academic level work, but I would like to do that in the future. That's outside of the hackathon scope, but that's in line with what I would like to do with this thing. And so let's shoot for 5 pages is my point here. So let's shoot for 5 pages. And we see from this other reference that 2,500 words one token is approximately, so 2,500 divided by 4 and multiplied by 3. I did that in reverse. Divided by 3 and multiplied by 4. Okay, so 2,500 words a token is approximately 3/4 of a word. Put another way, one word is divide this by 3 and multiply it by 4 is 1 1/3. A word is about 1 1/3 tokens. Do I have that right? So 3/4, 4/3. Reciprocals, right? 4/3. 1 1/3. Cool, so I just need 2 citations to back this up. So here's one citation, and here's the other citation. So we'll do 3350. 3350. To be safe, this service to be safe and future and extensible. To be safe and extensible, this service supports up to 3350 tokens per educational for a single educational unit. That is approximately equal to 2,500 words of content, which in turn is, yeah, okay, I don't need to say which in turn. That is approximately equal to 2,500 words of content or five single-spaced pages of content. I heard some kind of sound. I don't know what that was. What's dinging in my ear? Oh, let's check my chat. I wonder if that was a chat message. Looks like the answer is no. Okay. That is approximately equal to 2,500 words of content or 5 single-spaced pages of content. Cool. So let's do our test. We want to test 3350 tokens, and so I would like to ask it for, what will I ask it for? 2,500 words? I think so, and then I can use this word counter, suppy my boy, and here it is saying how many pages that is. I would like a word counter. Word counter. Suppy, my boy. 3 words, great. What are you working on? We're working on rect. So here's the open source repository for rect. This is an AI assisted transformer. It takes in social media content, specifically YouTube Shorts. It transcribes them, summarizes that, and then basically takes that information and turns it into 4 outputs: flashcards, quizzes, a slideshow. We're really working on the slideshow in this stream, and a chatbot assistant. Go over there and give the repository a star. It's only got 3 stars. Appreciate the support, y'all. Okay. So it seemed to make these slides fine. This is a key prompt. Maybe I can. Oh, we need to test that this output works. But so far we're getting green flags. Okay, I'm going to open up a new prompt here. Please write a 2,500 word essay, scholarly essay, on whether Bitcoin is more likely to, I don't know, I'm just making something up. 2,500 word. Double in value or halve in value. In the next, in the next year. You know it's an academic article because it's so slippery. Suggesting significant price movements in either direction could occur in the next year. Oh, you sound just like an economist. Thanks for the likes. So how many tokens is this? This is, and it doesn't matter how many tokens this is, because I can just say continue and it will continue the memory dump. But let's go ahead and see. So this is a 774 token response. I'm not bothered in the least because continue. I'm not bothered in the least because multi-part responses are fine. I've already done this in the course of these streams. You've seen, for example, the quizzes JSON. The quizzes JSON was too large to fit in a single response from GPT. I got to, I think, ID 7 down here. It dumped out all the way to ID 7, and I just said continue, and then it finished. And so as long as we get the sort of final answer, I think it's fine to, I can make a note of that as well. It's common that the prompt engineer, i.e. manual, what is a prompt engineer? What is a prompt engineer? It's common that the prompt engineer or GPT prompting human will need to ask GPT to, will need to prompt It's common and expected that rect users acting as prompt engineers will need to prompt ChatGPT to continue in order to receive completed outputs. I think that makes sense. Let me know if that doesn't make sense. Hello, do you advise someone to go JavaScript web or mobile native iOS? JavaScript web, 100%. Learn React. Learn React. That's my advice. Okay. So let's see how long this response is. By the way, let's all go ahead and peek at its conclusion. Conclusion. While there's no definitive answer, it's evident that Bitcoin's future value is heavily dependent on interplay. Ultimately, the next year will be, so it's a total non-answer, right? As always, a well-diversified, wow. It sounds like it sounds like something you would read in like a crappy finance magazine. I'm not going to name names. If you know, you know. But let's just get the token size. I think we can go all the way down here and then just cut out the word continue, right? Okay, so it totally did not listen to me when I told it to do, well, hold on. Let me not be premature. Sorry. Yeah, so I asked it to create a 2,500 word essay, and it gave me a 970 word essay. Stranger things have happened. That's just how the GPT be. This does concern me because there was a different person who said the output is still limited to around 1,100 tokens. This guy says like that's not really a problem. But I don't know if I can trust them. GPT models have a maximum context length of 4,000 tokens. Reddit wants to... no notifications. Go away, dude. Go away. This mod... login. This model's maximum context length is 4097. The max tokens parameter is shared between the prompt and the completion. This is just me learning more than anything. Figure out max token length for GPT-4. GPT-3 token length is shared and maxes at 4097. I don't think my prompt was very large in this case, right? So even if we share, we're well under this 4,000. Let's regenerate the response. See if we can get it to have a longer response. Oh, and you know what? Maybe I should just say continue again. Oop, sorry about that. Cool. And so if I just say continue, it will give me a 6. Okay. And then we'll just say continue until it forgets where it's at, I guess. Continue. Continue what? I don't know how to really get a grip on how much it's actually remembering. I can ask it how many words is this essay supposed to be, and that will sort of see if it remembers. Okay, cool. You asked me to write a 2,500 word essay. The provided essay is significantly shorter. Please let me know if you'd like me to expand on any specific sections. That's great. And that's an example of reflection, by the way. If you hear people talk about AI reflection or GPT or LLM reflection, I'm asking it to think about what it told me, and it reflected. The provided essay is significantly shorter, so it reflected on its actions. So let's count this all together. This is going to be the shared token limit. Control C, go over here, Control A, Control V. Let's look for my name and tear these out. I'll leave in the continue, but my name is just sort of like not part of the prompt. It's just sort of part of the GUI. Okay. We haven't quite crossed the 2,000 token line yet, which I would like to cross. Yeah, allegedly GPT-4 has an 8K. Now, it does make more sense. I don't know if my test that I did where I showed that I couldn't get to 7, I don't know if I counted the shared context of my prompts as well as their responses. I might have just been counting my prompts and ignoring the response length. So that could make sense. Okay, so I'll say write another essay of 500 words on why bananas are healthy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just get it to write a bunch of words and fill up its token. I'm going to try and basically manually test how many tokens until it drops off. And I'm trying to get over, to be safe and extensible, this service supports up to 3350 tokens for a single educational unit. That is so I'm trying to verify this is all I'm trying to do. Note that GPT-3 models have a shared token limit of about 4,090 tokens. This context limit counts both the prompt tokens and also the GPT response token length. GPT-4 allegedly GPT-4 token limit. Here's OpenAI. GPT-4 allegedly supports up to 8,000 tokens. Although rect hasn't been used with such large educational units. Okay, bananas. all the bananas. Let's see how many tokens we got now. We're over 2,500 tokens. Okay, this is almost good. What is an extremely unhealthy habit? Explain why in 300 words or less. Have you tried AutoGPT? No, I haven't. Is this AI coding or essay writing? It's essay writing. We're just testing the token limit. An extremely unhealthy habit is smoking cigarettes. Well, that's totally non-controversial. So now I'm going to ask it, please list the 3 essays, or please, like, how many essays have I asked you to write? Yeah. How many essays have I asked you to write? Have it write an essay proving smoking is healthy. No thanks. Okay, cool. So we are just verifying the token limit here. It's already publicly stated by OpenAI, but we're testing it ourselves. So now we're at 3272, and I'm trying to demonstrate support for the shared token context. To be safe and extensible, this service supports up to 3350 tokens for a single educational unit. All right, let's do another 100 words. Explain who won the 2004 election for U.S. president and how they won it in 100 words. Have a good afternoon. See you later. All right, cool. So let's grab all this. This is our token context. Are we over 3350 yet? Yeah, okay. So we're over the 3350 that I want to support. List the essay topics that I've asked you to write about and their word count targets. Cool, and it remembers all the way back to Bitcoin, right? And it remembers the word count target 2,500. So what we've done is we've validated that it's keeping all of this context in its short-term memory. Cool. And this is, 3,550. So really, we've really validated up to 3,500. But we'll say that we support 3350. Again, conservative, safe. And so if we showed that it works up to 3550 and we're only telling the public that we're supporting 3350, we should be even lower risk. Like it should really, really definitely work, right? Note GPT-3 models have a shared token limit. Cool. So I think we are clear to go ahead. Let's preview this thing. Open preview. The A and the B do not look good. Okay, so let's break these up. A, B. I need a formatter. So here we will look for, does prettier do readmes? No, right? Oh. Oh yeah, it does. There it is. All right, so let's use prettier then. We love prettier. Prettier ESLint. What? And oh, I need my settings. Control-Shift-P, settings. We're looking for preferences JSON. This is workspace settings. Let's look again. Settings JSON. Workspace default user. I don't really care. Any of these would be fine, I guess. Let me do user settings. VS Code user settings, format on save. Okay. Format on paste, I'm going to get rid of that. So we have TypeScript format on save, Markdown format on save, word wrap on, I guess, I don't know. Render white space, what does that mean? I'm going to get rid of that because I don't know what that means. Cool. So save, and we can see that it ran a format. Cool. And then enter, save, and we can see it dropped the spaces there. Good. Open preview. Preview, preview. And now my ABC, oh, the D is still messed up. Dang it. 1, 2, A, B, C, D, and then 3, and we need to fix the sub-bullets on 3. Excuse me. Cool, now we're looking good, right? All right. So here we want to commit a docs commit, docs. And this is for sizing. Oh, what's that?
Not working.
Oh. Sizing curriculum units, educational units. Make sure your username and email are configured. Okay. Because I haven't used this computer. We can see VS Code connected it. Ooh, and it said the author is John Vanderveer at John's it did this weird email address, so that's weird. Okay, so we demonstrated the token limit. Now let's verify whether the created slides actually look good. So here's the slideshow content. Here is the code, so we'll copy that. This is markdown code. I'm going to control click close others, and so we're going to open a new terminal in Latterly Slides, and we are going to update the curriculum file. I'm just going to replace it. And then I control save. It ran some formatting. That's fine. And so here is what it looks like as rendered markdown. And again, at first glance, this looks like what I expect. This is looking fine. And we can see here, you see it has target blank there. And so maybe that is a reason that I used the comment syntax, is because I didn't want this to show up in the markdown form. It doesn't matter too much though. Okay, so now I just want to see if this works. So I'm going to go to the index file. It's already pointed to curriculum, cool. And so we just need to build and start. So, oh, I don't know if I have Node installed. Node version. Yeah, I need to install Node. Is this ChatGPT? We were using ChatGPT, but no longer. We'll go for the current version 19. Ooh, cutting edge. Cutting edge. Are you going to bake something?
No, I'm feeding my starter.
Why don't you bake something?
What do you want me to bake?
Something with chocolate. What is my password? Oh man, I have to remember this stuff. Make sure user local bin is in your path. That is a good call out. So here we go, Node version. It's still not there, right? Oh, it's there. Okay. Echo path. So I guess it's going to be there. User local bin, user local bin, user local bin. So we're good. I mean, what are you coding? We're coding rect. This is an open source tool that takes YouTube shorts and turns them into all sorts of educational content. 4 things specifically: slides, flashcards, quizzes, and a chat assistant. And so that's why it's called rect, because there are 4 points. Okay, so here I want to, do I want to npmi or yarn? So we got a package lock JSON. So I want to npmi. By the way, if you're liking the video, tap the screen, give it some likes. You can also go over to YouTube or Twitch. Someone says someone's username is damn, and they said the fuck is going on. We're getting wrecked, man. We're getting wrecked. How about you? Sounds like you're doing the same thing. Discord link in the bio if you want to join. Okay, so did it really install that fast? That's insane. I don't know that I've ever seen npm run in 10 seconds. That's awesome. M2 for the win. And it's because I have, I guess, high-speed internet at my house. So let's gulp build. So I'm going to npm, well, we can serve it. npm start. I think just serving it locally would be fine. Zoom in a little bit. I think y'all can see better now. Okay, so here we're on local. Okay, so here's the slideshow, learning to code. Look at this. This looks great. Okay, now the target blank did not work. And it did not open in a new tab. Okay. So we need to tell GPT to use this comment syntax. Let's start from fresh because I want to basically engineer this magic prompt. So here we're going to say, assume that I have an index file that appropriately includes reveal.js with the reveal markdown plugin. The file includes the following HTML snippet. Please provide the content for curriculum.md such that I will have a slide that will allow me to render a slideshow that is 5 slides long. Cool. And I'm thinking if I want to do educational units and the educational unit is so let's tweak this a little bit. So we'll say that is up to 6 slides long. Or let's see, between so it needs a title between 3 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going to be somewhat confusing, isn't it? I'll give it the flexibility and we'll see what it does with it. Between 3 and 7 slides long. So why 3? Because I want it to have a minimum of 1 slide that's actually based on the educational content and up to 5. And then I want it to have a table of contents and an intro slide. So that's why up to 7, minimum 3, up to 7. If it gets confused, then I'll just tell it to do 7 every time, and then we can sort of trim the fat. Or the reverse. Maybe I tell it to do 3 every time, but then I feel that there's missing content, so I don't want to do that. Which short are you using for this? I'm not sure what you mean short. Create a slideshow on the topic of learning to code. So I don't want to do that. Let's say between 3 and 7, that will allow me to render a slideshow that is between 3 and 7 slides long. Each slide should have a maximum, or let's just leave it like that. I can tell it like, hey, 3 bullets and whatever, but I think it can figure that out. The first slide should be a title slide. The second slide should have a table of contents. One of the other slides should have a hyperlink that opens in a new tab browser. And now I'm going to tell it about the syntax. with reveal.js, we can cause a markdown link to open in a new tab using a special comment syntax like this. For example, consider the following slide that makes use of this syntax.
I need heavy cream and then I can make chocolate stones.
You need heavy cream and you can make chocolate stones. That sounds great.
When the kids get up from nap, we'll be down for a little break and we can run to a little store to get stuff.
Definitely. We can trim this down. Okay. So we give it this special prompt. The first slide should be a title slide. The second slide should have a table of contents. One of the other slides let me say it like this. Try to include include at least one relevant hyperlink on each slide that directs the viewer to a valuable external resource or a citation for a statement on the slide. And then here's where we are going to link the topic. So here's the transcript service. Here I will temporarily add a new file, which is prompt for slides.txt. Consider the following web video transcripts delineated by their source platform ID. So I can use that same base prompt there. Consider the following web video transcripts delineated by their source platform ID. Consider the following web video transcripts delineated by their source platform ID. Yep. They're actually not delineated by their source platform ID. That's kind of a lie, but it figured it out anyway. They're delineated by their URL. Are you building some sort of learning website? Yep, that's right. It's latterly.io. You can go there now. Currently it's created by hand, but I'm trying to have AI sort of automate a lot of the work for me. Delineated by their URL, which ends in a source platform ID, is more true. So here's the get quizzes file substring, flashcards, quizzes, and now we're going to make slides. Okay. We just copied that function. So now we have get slides file substring. Control V, Control S, get slide, Control C, Control F, Control V, enter, pop me over there. Okay. Then this is going to be the prompt text. For video and video IDs, prompt text is transcript text. And this is an append only, right? So we're just appending the URL and the transcript. Yep. So this is where the initial write happens. This is the prompt for slides. So I don't want to say assume that. I'm going to say I have an index HTML file that appropriately includes reveal.js with the reveal markdown plugin. The file includes the following HTML snippet. Please provide the content for curriculum.md that will allow me to render a slideshow. That is between, that will allow me to render a slideshow that is between 3 and 11 slides long. The first slide should be a title slide. The second slide should have a table of contents. So do I really want to do one of these for each video? It feels like that's not the right thing to do, but I can do that for now. Yeah, I'm going to end up rewriting this, but I can do this for now. This is fine for now. Everything's fine. Why are you whispering?
Wegmans has the chicky chips now.
Cool, let's go get them. We're going to Wegmans later?
Yeah, I'm gonna just place an order for pickup, and we can just run in and pick it up.
Shush.
Any things specific on the energy drinks that you want?
No, just like ones that taste good.
Okay.
Is it VS Code? Yes, it is. Thanks for the rose. What programming software are you using for the project? VS Code. Okay, so this is the quizzes file substring. This is going to be the slides. Is it slides or slideshow? Slides file substring. So this one might be a little bit different, but that's fine. Let me take out the that is between yeah. That will allow me to render a slideshow. The first slide should be a title. The second slide should have a table of contents. Include at least one relevant hyperlink on each slide that directs the viewer to a valuable external resource or a citation for a statement on the slide. Hyperlinks should always open in a new tab. This slideshow is meant to capture the information contained in the following web video transcripts delineated by their, yeah. So this is where the main sort of thing comes back in. The slideshow is meant to capture the information contained in the following web video transcripts delineated by their URL, which ends in a source platform ID. Please generate at least one slide per transcript and no more than 3, 4, 5. Even 5 slides feels like overkill for a single like little TikTok video. Please generate at least one slide per transcript and no more than 3. Have you ever tried Swift? The programming language? Yeah, it's pretty great. I like it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I mean, the job market is its own thing, but as a language, it's cool. All right, so we're doing this prompt for slides. So let me grab this prompt for slides. And now we're going to go over to the Python code. And this is file substring, it's slides. And let me dedent these prompts. No formatter for Python installed. Oh, I need to poetry install. CDB transcript service. ls. Here I have the lock file poetry version. Yeah, I don't even have poetry on this computer. Oops. Install poetry. What website is the hackathon on? It's on Supabase. And so you can check out rect. This is the open source repository. And if you look at the README background section, this application is an entry into the 2023 Supabase hackathon on the theme of AI. Matt says, rimref, nah. Okay, here's poetry. So we're going to pip install. Is this the right way to do it? For real, for real? Installation with the official installer. Yeah, I think this is the way that I trust. So here I got Python 3 and then Python. Whoa. I haven't installed Python yet. All right. 3.11. Do not use a Vim. Poetry is a Vim wrapper. So poetry is even better. Okay, so Python is not found. Can I get a DMG file? No. So I just installed this, right? Where is it installing it? It said destination select. I never selected anything. Python launcher. All right, let's launch it this way. Okay, is this where it is? User local bin Python. Okay. So here's the Python launcher. It's like not working. Okay, so let me CD over here. ls, and so here I got Python 3.11. I don't have Python. Not a directory Python. Okay, so I got this 3.11 binary. Cool, so I found it. So yeah, it's user local bin. So why is it not getting read in? Python version, Python 3.11 version. Okay, so it is being read into path. It's just using this goofy name. Okay, so I'll just do a zishrc. So we'll cd over here, ls-a. Do I have my zish vim.z? I got z profile, so we'll do that. Symlink it. Nah, we're not going to symlink it. We're just going to alias it. Python equals user local bin Python 3.11. Look, it says setting path for Python 3.11. Do I have two different binaries for Python 3. Yo, this is goofy. Whatever. I'm going to use the user local bin. So yeah, Python 3.11. Cool, escape :WQ. Let's trash these terminals and then reopen and check Python. Does Z profile run on shell init? I might need to do a zishrc or something. Need to say alias. Do I want to make it an alias though? I guess that doesn't hurt anything. Yeah. Look at your chat, bro. I'm looking at the chat. And you need to source. No, I trashed the terminal and opened a new one, so it auto sources it unless it's not being run on init. What's up? What's up? How's it going, man? What's that? Like 5 or 10 people. I am making like flashcards and quizzes and stuff so people can learn to code, basically. Nice. Yeah, free code camp's pretty cool. Yeah, it can be. So what are you up to now? You're at the beach? Sick, dude. Where are you at? Treasure Island. Where is that? I don't know where that is. Okay, cool, cool. Do you know where Fort Myers is? It's over there in Florida too. So are y'all kind of on the north side, south, like where in Florida? Oh, cool, cool. West Central. I'm gonna be out there for a bachelor's party at the end of the month. See ya. Have a good one. That was kind of fun. See if I got anything in the YouTube chat. Nope, nothing new. All right, cool. So we got Python now. We want to install Poetry. Let me close the other tabs other than my main Python script right here. We're watching. We're frustrated. Dude's not listening. No, I don't need to source it. It works. Like, did you notice it works already? I didn't have to do source. Oh, I don't need to source in my new terminal. Yeah. And no, I don't want to do brew install. I don't like brew to control my stuff unless like there's cases for it. It's not like it's bad or anything, but it can conflict with other things like conda and it gets messy. So I prefer to just install things directly most of the time. Okay. Yeah, and like for Poetry, for example, why don't I just brew and install Poetry? Well, because that's not what the docs recommend. So I'm sure there is a Poetry brew package, but if I get in a Poetry problem, brew is just going to complicate fixing it. Okay, and so let's install Poetry. Unable to get local issuer certificate. Looks like the same issue right here. Poetry isn't using the correct certificate for PyPy. Okay. Connect to any HTTP site, click on the icon, convert to a PEM. Oh wow, they want me to do all that? That made things really complicated. Oh, maybe I just need to upgrade pip. Yeah, I think that could be. New here, can you do a quick overview of what you're coding? Yeah. Let's see if I got Poetry now. It's not found. You can call it explicitly this way. Cool. All right. So I'll do the overview in 1 second. Let me fix my Z profile. So we're throwing Poetry on the path as well. I'll trash this terminal, open a new one. Still not found. Why is that Z profile not working? The installer creates a poetry wrapper in a well-known directory. Poetry home if poetry home is set. Okay, probably the issue here is that poetry home is not set. Yeah. So I guess this thing should be my poetry home. Alternatively, the full path can be used. Let's use this. That's not there. Yeah, it totally installed it to like a place it didn't say it would install it to. That's super goofy. Permission denied. Ah, wow. Permission denied. I guess I can just schmod it. Do you have to go into that file location? No, it's not the alias keyword. It's just a permission issue. What? Oh man, I'm getting my password wrong. Have you tried sudo? I was doing that right now, right? Permission denied. Yo. Install fails with permission denied. Maybe I should use pipx. Okay, let's do that. Cool. So I'm going to go tear this back out of my Z profile. Permission denied means you aren't running as root. You got to do sudo and then your laptop password. I already tried sudo. Yo, what you be doing? I'm installing Poetry so that I can run this script, and this script will let me turn YouTube Shorts into educational content like flashcards and quizzes. Okay, so we took that out of the Z profile. We're going to cd over here, ls, I got Poetry, going to run ref Poetry. Poetry was in 2 locations somehow, so let's go home. I can try which Poetry, it probably won't work. Yeah. The other one, this is not the other one. So that's the one that's gone. The other one was saying no such file. Okay, so that's kind of good. Cool. All right, so then there's only one that actually got installed. So let's do pipx. Brew. All right. I'm with it. If it's actually recommended, I'm with it. Oh, yeah. Reinstall the Zish brew. I don't want to reinstall it. I just want to install it. West Kobe, what up, what up? How's it going? Okay, so that threw it in the Z profile. Now we got brew. Now I want to brew, install pipx. Nothing much, just relaxing after a long day of gaming. Nice. For real, if I get big enough, I'm gonna start hiring TikTok gang. Let's go, Robe. Robots building education in the building. Good to see you here. Discord's in the bio, y'all. Hit it up. YouTube and Twitch over there too. I only got 18% battery left. This is cool. We've been doing a lot with this. This is my new M2. It's been doing a lot with not being plugged in. What are you working on? We're working on rect. Rect is an open source AI tool. So here it is, Vanderveer/rect. Let me refresh the page, see if I got any more stars. We're still on 3, so go over there and give it a star. This takes YouTube Shorts, and if you have repurpose.io, you can throw your TikToks into repurpose and put them over to YouTube Shorts. But this will actually take the YouTube Shorts because there's a transcript service from YouTube, and generates flashcards, quizzes, stuff like that out of your YouTube Short transcripts. So that's why it's called rect. What's the point? There's 4 points. That's why it's called rect. And then it makes a conversational agent as well. It's for the Supabase hackathon. Feel free to throw in a pull request, and I'll include your name on the when I submit it. I'm going to submit this about midnight. Submitting this later today, and I can submit up to 5 names. So I only have 1 other person that's contributed so far. Okay, so we got pipx right, and then now we're going to pipx install Poetry. pipx ensure path. You will need to open a new terminal or re-log in. Okay, let's do a new terminal. Let's echo path. And I got the opt, I got 311. I got, excuse me, user bin, sudo bin, and then here is what it added is my John Vanderveer local bin. So I should be able to see Python now, pipx now, and poetry now. The gang's all here. We're ready to go. Just started. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, y'all. So that was a fun distraction. Like I said, new computer. Just got it in the mail yesterday. Send me some stickers. I only got 3 stickers on the back of it, so send me some stickers. So let's cd into the rect folder. We'll go over to the backend subfolder and the transcript service specifically. ls, make sure we're in the right place. Here's my poetry log. Everything's looking good. We can cat the README and scroll up to the install instructions. Consider running these because we're in VS Code. I don't know if that's needed on Mac. Oh, the README doesn't actually say to run poetry install. Poetry install. Does not contain an element. That's okay. So what I want to do is make sure that I have reference to these, and I do not. So the YouTube transcript API is installed. Control-Shift-P, Python interpreter. Oh, I don't have my Python plugins at all. Okay, so let's get the Python extensions. I need the plugin pack. So here's the extension pack, and that's going to include Python into Django. I don't want Django actually, so I don't want this, sorry. I want the Python extension specifically. Are you building a bot? I'm not building a bot, no. Can you do scripting in Notepad and run in the terminal? Yeah, you could. Where did you learn to code, school or privately? I learned, I would say privately. So I started learning, I kind of started with my own personal blog, but then I didn't really get serious until I was on a job and they needed to build a website. And so I basically said, like, let me give it a try. Okay, cool. So we can see now that we installed, we have access to OS, JSON, async IO, and typing. These are the built-in modules, but I don't have access to the transcript API. And that's because Poetry installed in the Poetry virtual environment, installed the transcript API. So let me Control-Shift-P, interpreter. You can see now I can select the Python interpreter. I'm going to try to find the Poetry. Yeah, but it's not here. So the Poetry is not in the list. Here I can Poetry env list. And here you can see this is activated over here because I did a Poetry install. But it's not accessible to VS Code. So yeah, for VS Code, consider running Cool. What website helped you the most to learn to code? That would be Codecademy. Hey, by the way, I have. It seems like you're asking questions about how to learn to code, but one of the main things I do is teach people to code. So check out Laterally Slides, and this is literally an open source curriculum for how to learn to code, and it's actually what we're working on today. How long it took you? I've been coding for about 10 years. Is it free? This is open source. Yes, open source means free. Okay, so we got poetry now. And so I can, let's config the virtual environment. Now I can Control-Shift-P. Oh, and now I can just ls or ls-a. What I'm trying to do now, how long it takes to get a grasp, probably about a year. A little less if you get a good mentor. One of the things that I do is I help people learn to code personally if they're not having success on their own. So check out the bio, feel free to contact me. Okay, so we configured the virtual environment, and now I can poetry env list. Wrong terminal. Poetry env list. And here's the transcript service. Why am I not seeing it? Poetry env remove. Deleted. Now let's config. Maybe I need to configure it before I installed it. And then it will drop it right here. So then now I have the .venv. For VS Code, consider running Cool. Install Poetry and navigate to the transcript service directory. You don't want to install yet at this time. That's a mistake that I made. Cool. This brings flashbacks. It isn't hard to hit spacebar. Isn't it hard to hit spacebar with your pointer finger? Not really. Okay. What am I doing now? So here I have, I want to select the interpreter, and I want to enter the local path. So here I'm going to do pwd, and then I'm going to ls.venv. ls.venv/bin. Yeah, and then it's Python 3. Is it going to be the Python 3 or something like that? Let me cd over there. cd.venv bin. There's activate, there's black pit, whatever. Python 3.version. Python 3 or Python.version. Yeah, okay, so I can just use Python. Cool. pwd. So this /Python. Oh, it wanted me to enter the containing folder. Okay. Yeah, and now I got access. So now I got access to the transcript API, command click, and you can see it dives into my site packages over there. Source activate. No, I don't want to source activate. I want to use poetry. I don't want to directly access the venv. Okay, so I'm in the transcript service, right? And now I can poetry shell, and now my command line has the activated environment context, and now I can Python main. Cool. All right, so the open API key is not found. It's not really an error, but it is supposed to say error, so that works. And then it looped through 5 videos. So what I want to see is this prompt for slides over here. There it is. It has all that stuff that we put earlier. And it has, please generate at least 1 per transcript and no more than 3 per I should that's, yeah. The machine could take that too, literally. No more than 3 per transcript. Okay, so let me stage this and stage the README, and then I'm going to let me just stage the README. I'll do a docs commit, which is better install instructions. I need to fix this. That's going to get really annoying. You know what I think I can do? I think there's a GitHub extension that I can install for this. I got 13%. So here's GitHub pull requests and issues. Ooh, it's really low rated. GitHub code spaces. I think this is the one I was thinking of. Maybe it's not. Authenticating and connecting VS Code to GitHub. This is the main thing that I was looking for. All right. I mean, if it doesn't work, I can always uninstall it, right? It's called GitLins. I already have GitLins installed. Switch to pre-release version. I don't know. I don't know that I want a pre-release version if it's this unstable. Is your project on GitHub? I would love to check it out. Yeah, it is. So here you go. Rect, R-E-C-T. We're up to 4 stars. You can go be star number 5. Let's see. Here's my laterally slides. We got 15 slides on that. So we're kind of working on both of these. Cool. And so let me revert these slides. And we'll try it again now. Did I fix the text so that it was more specific? And no more than 3 per transcript. Yeah, so my worry was that it would just make no more than 3 in total, which is not what I wanted. Okay, and it generated this new text, and it says no more than 3 per transcript, and then it has the URLs, and it has the transcript text. Cool. And so this is a main feature. This is prompt for slides. Let's commit that. See, it's not authenticating me. It's not authenticating me. That's fine. I can set the get set user email. Which one do I want to use? What did I use historically? 44 commits. It's this one, right? I don't know. Is it connected to my Google? Let me use my laterally. No, I don't think that's right. Username and user email, okay. So I did username, or I did user email. Okay, that seemed to work. Let's see if pushing works now. SSH or HTTP? I did not wittingly install an SSH for my Git repo. So I don't know. I would assume HTTP unless it did some stuff behind the scenes. Okay, prompt for slides. Okay, so you can see it said John Vanderveer. That's using like my Apple email, but now it's back to normal. Cool. So let's test this thing now. So here is the prompt for slides. Command A, Command C. And I don't like the way it's open in a split pane, so I'm going to close it and then reopen it. Prompt for slides. Notice I leave the dashes out, so it supports fuzzy typing. So here we are. This is the prompt. We can measure the token size just sort of for kicks. All right, so 1,200 tokens. And we support it up to like 3,300 or something. This is a fresh GPT-4. Let me go ahead and refresh the page. Again, just for kicks, not really necessary. You'll need an API key, right? No, you do not. I'm just using the GUI. And so here is the prepared prompt. And I consider this an open source contribution. It's prompt engineering, but we are preparing a prompt and then validating it. We already showed that the other prompt doesn't work. So we're validating, this is real engineering. It's a real open source contribution. Oh man, it gave us slide colors too. I did not tell it to do that. And now it's using the element target blank syntax. Seems to be correctly. Secrets for job search and career advancement. Yo, that's hype. That's an attention getter, isn't it? So let me grab this. And we are going to... Oh, you bought a Mac. Yeah. So this is an M2. It's my personal. It came in yesterday. It's an Air, MacBook Air. So yeah. Hey, what language is that? This is this is just raw text. This is not actually a language. But some of it's Markdown. And inside here, some of it's HTML and some of it's Markdown. And then this is just plain text. So this is prompt food. This is prompt food for GPT. So it's plain text that includes some fragments of some languages. Okay, so we got this content, and now I want to make sure that it can actually generate slides. So we're going to go over here to the curriculum MD, Control A, Control V to paste over it. By the way, I'm going to record this as slide output, and this would be MD. New file, slides.md. So I'm going to paste it here and save it here. It does apply some formatting. Let's check before and after to see if my auto formatting from Prettier wrecked anything. Okay. So now we're over in the laterally repository, and we are going to npm start. That'll run a local gulp server. Is that an M1 or an M2? It's an M2, 16 gigs or 8. I'm actually not sure. Let's see. Hopefully 16. Let's find out. $16. Let's go. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so yeah, and this is like a blue color. Look at that. That's so funny. I didn't tell it to do that, right? It just decided to make it like this bluish background. You can see that, right? On my other computer, you probably would not be able to see the difference. But here it's a dark blue, and here it's like a background.
Are you stressed?
Why?
Because your hair is doing the Skinwalker dude's hair.
Oh, I just had it sort of pushed back. Is that Fight Camp?
Yes.
Yay! Battery's getting low. We're almost done, y'all. What's the AI doing here? It is taking my transcripts from YouTube Shorts. Let me show you one of the shorts. I haven't actually shown any of them. 410 subscribers. Go hit that subscribe. And so it's taking like this one. If you're interested in code, that's telling people like, hey, tell me a project that I should build for my portfolio so I can land a job. My main.py will... You see, in the URL, I have a URL-based ID. My main.py will take a list of these IDs. Where's the list? Here's a list of video IDs. I hard-coded 5 for now. Ultimately, they're always going to be hard-coded because the tool user needs to tell the system which YouTubes. Like which videos, which shorts. And so it's going to take those and it's going to get their transcripts, and then it's going to combine those transcripts with pre-engineered, smart, validated prompts. Then you drop that into GPT and it will give you these interesting outputs. And the outputs are also housed here. So we have flashcards, quizzes, and slides.md. The model isn't trained on color theory, though, so it'll have minimal creative ability there. I agree with that. I was surprised it tried to do anything. Like, if you're, like, it's so weird to try to empathize with a robot, right? Like, if you're a robot, why do you give a shit if the background of the title slide is a different color? My best guess is basically just statistically speaking, the title slide often has a different color. So the machine just said, oh, I should probably pick some other color. And then it picked some sort of valid hex string. How it came up with that, I'm not sure. Maybe this is statistically a common color to be used. I don't know. I was thinking you work with front end only, React.js, etc. No, I worked with all kinds of stuff. But React is what I recommend people learn to start their career. But it's not the only thing that I know. Like, I've been at this for like 10 years now. Who was generating the problem? You are manually adding to a text file. Who was generating the problem? You are manually adding to a text file. I don't understand what you were saying. So these text files are not written by me. I mean, they're kind of written by me because in this Python file, I'm providing strings to write. So it takes these strings and then it combines them with transcripts. And then it writes that to the file. Oh, here's what you might have seen. I came over here to copy this. I didn't come over here to write it, but I came to copy it. And then I pasted it in here, and then I took this output and I pasted it in this markdown file. So maybe that's what you saw. Who is asterisk prompt? I came up with the prompt if that's what you're asking. I really don't understand your question. It wasn't clear who's generating the prompts. Oh, that's me. I'm the one generating the prompts. Still don't understand exactly what the AI is doing here. Are you using the API? No, I'm using the GUI. You see, it's very simple what the AI is doing. It made this curriculum file. You see the word curriculum? The AI put it there. So the AI created these slides. Yeah, if that doesn't make sense to you, then it would take a lot longer to make it make sense. Basically, there's something called, you can watch this whole stream is saved, and you can watch it over again. There's something called reveal.js, which takes markdown files and makes slideshows out of them. And I'm getting the AI to give me the markdown file that becomes the slide. Oh, this one's busted. I wonder why. Did I just copy it wrong? Oh, it's not continued. Okay. So I need to say continue. How is the, look, this sort of URL here is busted. If you're interested in building, and it links over to the source, that's great. Personal interest project. Personal interest project. Yeah. Somehow it got busted. AV, Control S. I don't know. I assumed I must have copied it wrong somehow. Secrets for job search and advancement. That was the third. That was the third thing there, so that might have been the whole thing. I might have forced it to continue when it had no intent of doing so. I don't know. This looks cool, so let's copy it. Thank you. Why not? Okay, let's refresh. It's still busted, so that means I need to Control C and then up, enter, and restart the server. Somehow localhost is still busted. Oh, because, okay, I didn't take it over and paste it over here. Okay, and there it did reload on its own. Okay, now it's unbusted, right? laterally slides. It opened in a new tab. Awesome. So the opening in a new tab is working. The hyperlinking of table of contents to its respective section is all working. Almost. Secrets for job search didn't work. Secrets for job search and career advancement. See if that works now. Okay, so some patching up, some additional patching up may also be needed. Let's add that to the README. Please test the output and repair as needed. It's not uncommon to need to fix a link in a slide, for example. And that would be a title anchor link from the slide table of contents to its section start. Okay, all right. I think that does it for this stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. What we accomplished, we got the slideshow to work. And it looks pretty good, right? Laterally curriculum. From here, it's a matter of scaling, basically. And there also is this matter of improving the rect user experience. I don't want them to need to come into the main file and hard code these video IDs. So that's what we'll do next time. Please follow the page and tune in. And next time we are going to take these hard-coded video IDs and we're going to externalize them so that there will be some sort of map. Maybe I can give you an idea of what I mean quickly. Yeah, let's do a new file. And this will be, source map comes to mind, but that means something already in programming. I can still call it the social source map. And we'll call it social source map.json. And here we'll add a to-do. Don't simply, to-do support all units, not just the first one. But here we're going to do video IDs equals units 0. And units, and this will be educational units 0. Dot video IDs. Yeah. So we're going to want to read in the file. With social source map, I think I should use JSON loads instead. JSON loads JSON loads the string. Is that right? Okay, so I need to use both.
You want to make bold moves with your...
Oh golly, that ad took me by surprise. Okay, so we open this, and then the yeah. So the educational units is JSON loads F. Yeah. So we're going to read it in from this JSON file. That's what I mean when I say externalize it. Okay, so here in this JSON file, we're going to have units. This will be like unit 1. In the future, maybe they're not unit 1, 2, 3. Maybe they are some non-array structure, but for now, we'll just do an array structure. And then we need to give this unit sort of a cohesive title, which I will just sort of make up. So if you're interested in code, these are, the unit is like projects. So the name of this unit, and I might refactor this. This is kind of off the cuff. The 1975, I love it. Building a portfolio. Building a coding portfolio. Okay, and then there is video IDs. Let's see if, nope, it's not going to figure it out. Okay, well, these are the video IDs that I have in mind. Cool. Let's call them curriculum units. F.read. It's already implicitly a read. Okay. Let's run black over here. Black main. Formatted it. We love a formatted document. Okay, and let me delete these prompts just so that we can rebuild them, just so that we can prove that the main file changes work. So here I'll close all others. This is like a manual functional test. So here we are going to Python main. Dict object has no attribute video IDs. Right. So here I need to get video IDs, and we will, default to an empty array. Thanks, GitHub Copilot. Okay. And it found 5 videos. How did it find that? Because it looked up the JSON file, parsed it, and did the thing correctly like we expected. Okay, so that's going to do it for today's stream. Thank you so much for tuning in.